Hi everyone, it's Michelle B. Welcome back to our second installment of our Bulldog Beginner Series. I'm so glad to be with you once again. Today you're going to grab your 2 blocks if you're using them for your practice. I have mine already lined up on the top corners of my mat. And we're going to do just a brief review of some of the standing poses that we did last week, in particular the high lunge and our warrior 2. I'll show you the modifications if you need them. And then we're going to dive a little deeper into some work on our mat, lying down on our back and in our belly. We're going to do some back bends and some hip work today. So I hope you enjoy. Go ahead and meet me on your mat in child's pose, and I'm going to get our music going. All right, so just to kind of bring our spine online and to find some length and find that yoga breath that we really worked on focusing last week, separate your knees a little or a lot with your big toes touching, and just start to walk your fingertips out towards the top corners of your mat. Draw your chin in towards your chest, and we're gonna find that yoga breath here. So breathing in for a count of 3, inhale. Exhale for that same length of time. So inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. Do that again. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, 2, 3. See if you can go up to 4 now. So inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Let's take one more full round. Breathe in. Feel your ribs expand towards your inner thighs. Exhale, feel them draw back in towards each other. Nice, and then let's come to all fours. Linking movement and breath together with a few rounds of cat and cow here. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Starting in a neutral spine where there's no arching and no rounding. On an inhale, press into your hands, your knees, top of the feet, and start to lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Chin can lift. And then exhale, reverse it. Press through the palms again, this time as you're lifting your heart up towards the ceiling and draw the chin in. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to take one more round like that, really arching through your spine. Lift the chin, lift the gaze. And exhale, draw your chin in, press into your hands, knees, top of the feet, and dome through your spine. And then come to neutral. Nice work, everyone. Let's step our feet back and find a high plank. So here's your modified side plank, or high plank, just hanging out in tabletop. Otherwise, you're going to step your right foot back and then your left foot back, extending out through your heels. Legs are as straight as they can be. And we're not lifting up the hips and we're not dropping them down. So they're staying pretty neutral as well here. And take a deep breath in. And another deep breath out. Almost through. Take one more inhale. And then exhale. You can bend your knees as you lift your hips up and back. Find downward facing dog. Never forget to take your dog on a walk the first time you head to the shape. So you can bend your knees together or one at a time. Just do what feels right. You can even separate your feet about mat distance apart. I often do this and kind of rock my hips side to side whenever I'm feeling any tightness in my lower back. So if I've been sitting at my desk most of the day or just driving the kids around in the car, that down dog with your knees or your legs a little wider feels so good. And I'll come up towards your tippy toes. Let's walk all the way to the top of our mats, separating our feet hip distance apart. On an inhale, lift halfway and find flat back. And exhale, fold. Then press through your feet. Let's come all the way up to stand, stretching from your feet to your fingers, arms reach high. And then exhale, drop your arms down by your side. Find your tall mountain pose here. So keeping your feet hip distance apart, we're going to do that standing side bend series. Bring your right hand to your hip. On an inhale, reach up tall through your left palm. And exhale, find a gentle sway over to the right. Breathing into your left ribs. Inhale. Exhale. Not here super long. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Let's inhale, come back to center. Bring both hands to your hips to reset. This time, inhale, reach the right arm up nice and high. And exhale, side bend over to the left. Hi, how are you? Really root down through your feet. Remember, we talked about all three corners, the balls and heels of your feet. Feel them here. Let's take one more deep breath in. Reach even higher. Use that exhale to sway a little further. Inhale, come back to center. Bring both hands to your hips again. Just walk your fingertips a little closer towards your lower back. See if you can draw your elbows in a little closer towards one another. And then start to feel that expansion, that opening through your chest. Let's find a standing back bend. Press through the feet. Hug in through the thighs. Lift the quads. Squeeze the glutes. And lift back a little or a lot. Remember, no cranking in the neck. So we want to keep length through the back of the neck here. Gaze is slightly up. One more breath. Gorgeous. Inhale, come back to center. Let's reach our arms nice and high overhead as we breathe in. Exhale, you can fold over, very soften knees if you need to. I always do. Draw your chin in. And then inhale, lift into that flat back. Hands can return to your shins. I'm going to use my blocks as I step my right foot way back into a lunge here. Remember the placement of your feet. And we're going to add on. So if at any point in time you need to drop that back knee down, you're still in your lunge, okay? No worries there. On an inhale, see if you can flip your arms behind you. Find those airplane wings, keeping your chest hovering over your front thigh. And then on your next exhale, let's sweep those fingers forward and lift into high lunge. Good. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. So even though your inner thighs are apart, I want you to think of drawing them in towards one another. And from that front heel, can you bend a little deeper into your front knee? Continue to reach out high out through your fingertips. Strain the arms as best as you can. So you have any tightness in your shoulders or something going on with your elbows, it's okay to bring your arms a little wider. We're here for one more deep breath in. Use your exhale to release your hands down to those blocks, framing out your front foot. Gaze forward on your inhale. And exhale, bring that right foot forward to meet your left and fold. Inhale, return to a flat back. Pull your belly in nice and tight. And then exhale, other side. Step your left foot way to the back. Remember, you can always tap the back knee down. If you're keeping it lifted, hug in through the inner thighs. And then inhale, float your arms behind you, find airplane wings. Good. Hugging the shoulders together, keep the chest open. And then on your next exhale, reach those fingers forward and lift your chest. Gorgeous. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now let's focus on the back leg. Pressing through that heel almost as though you're kicking it into the palm of my hand or maybe whatever wall is behind you. Really lighting up through the front and the back of that left leg. Take one more deep breath in, reach high. Use your exhale to drop your hands down to the mat or your blocks, gaze forward. And then exhale, step your left foot forward to meet your right. Draw your chin in. And then this time, let's walk our feet a little closer together. Your big toes can touch. A little distance between your heels. Start to bend your knees. And reach your arms high into chair pose. Quick peek down. So my knees were way beyond my toes. Not good for the ankles or the knees over time. So I'm going to pull them back, pull the hips further back, and then settle here. If it's too much on the upper arms, the shoulders, bring your hands into prayer. Not holding you here super long. Take one more deep breath in. And use your exhale, straighten your legs, come up to stand. Awesome work. Let's sit into that chair one more time, this time coming from standing. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees, pull your hips way back. So weight is in your hips and your heels. I'm lifting all 10 of my toes just to make sure that there's not too much weight there. Good. Take one more breath, reach a little higher. This time, exhale, fold back down. Good. Inhale, we're going to come into a flat back, lifting the hands to the shins or maybe just returning them to your blocks. And once again, step your right foot to the back of your mat. This time from here, I'm going to have you spin your back heel down so it's bracing your mat, and then reach that right arm forward. We're going to come up, beautiful, into a warrior two. So keeping those elements that we learned last week, we're not going to be leaning forward like we're on a surfboard. We're going to keep the shoulders right over the hips. Think of drawing that left inner thigh upwards towards the ceiling and that right inner thigh to the back of the mat. Good. Reach out through your fingertips. Maybe bend a little deeper into your front knee, and then just stay here. Ideally, your gaze is going to come over your fingertips on that front hand. Take one more deep breath in, and deep breath out. Now, you're going to flip your front palm. I just asked you not to surf, but now I kind of want you to lean forward, just so you can create some length on this right side of the body, as you then take that top arm up and back. So now I want you to focus on keeping both sides of your body nice and long. That right hand can slide down your back leg, and then just hold here in Radiant Warrior. Take a full breath in, and a full breath out. One more inhale. Stay through your exhale. And then we're going to rise back up. Find warrior two. Once again, leaning a little forward, we're going to bring that left forearm down to our front thigh. Take the right arm, reach it nice and high. Side angle. Great place to stay. We can work on a variation. If you want to spin your pinky forward and take that top arm up and overhead, you'll be in the extended variation. So now here's where I sort of start to feel like an intense stretch through the side of my right body. Good. Hold here. Take an inhale. Exhale. Now let's reset and bring that right arm up nice and high towards the ceiling. Now you're going to bring your thumb towards the back of your mat. Reach, reach, reach towards your back heel. Then bend your elbow and place the right hand towards your left inner thigh. Maybe it's just to your lower back today. Either way is fine. This is called a half bind. Wherever you land, whether you decide to stay here with me or just return to a shape that felt a little better, I want you to keep your chest open and bright. And especially once you have that forearm down on the thigh, I want you to think of pressing the elbow into the thigh, pressing the thigh back into the elbow so you're not kind of falling into your shoulder. Good. We're here for one more breath. Even inhales and exhales. And then take that right arm, reach it high. Let it guide you up and find a warrior two. Gaze over your fingertips, breathe in. And on your exhale, let's just float those hands back down to our blocks or the mat. Lift off your back heel. Step your right foot forward and bring your big toes to touch. Folding deeply. Inhale, lift and lengthen, flat back. Exhale, bow. Final time, I promise. Come back into that chair pose. Why do I always forget a hair tie every time I'm filming, you guys? It's a real problem. Anyway, let's take one more breath here. Reach up and exhale. Fold. It's because I tend to wash my hair before filming day, and then I don't want to get creases in it. Anyway, you guys don't care. Let's spin that back heel down. Reach your left arm forward to bring you all the way up into warrior two, and hold here. So you're going to bring that front knee over the ankle. It's a nice deep bend. Oftentimes we'll see a lot of half warrior twos. Let's just go all the way in. Settle into that space. Breathing there. Inhale. Exhale. One more here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Keep the chest open. Flip your front palm. Reach that top arm slightly out in front of you to bring it up and back. Stay open and long through both sides of your body as you maintain that deep bend in your front knee. Good. Awesome work, everyone. Let's take one more breath. I know this can be a lot in the legs. And then we're going to come through, find that warrior two. Once again, reach forward, tap the forearm down, reach the left arm up nice and high. Remember about the elbow pressing into the knee and the knee into the elbow. So check in with that shoulder. Make sure it's not collapsing down towards your front inner thigh. And then spin your pinky towards the front of your mat and take the top arm up and over. So we don't want to wear that left shoulder like an earring. Draw it down and back to keep the chest open. And take one more breath here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Reset. And now spin your thumb towards the back of the mat. Reach, reach, reach. And then start to bend at your elbow. Left hand now to your lower back or your right inner thigh. Good. So let's talk about the gaze here. It's wherever it's most comfortable on your neck. There's no right or wrong. So if the gaze is most comfortable down on that front foot, I'm good with that. If it's directly out in front of you in your warrior two, perfectly fine. If it's gazing up towards the ceiling, I'd say this is the most advanced, perhaps, variation, but we don't care about that here. We want you to be able to do this practice for as long as you possibly can. So you do what works best for your body. Good. Let's reset. Take the top arm, reach it high. Use it to guide you back up into warrior two. Breathe in. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down, framing out your front foot. This time, place your blocks off to the side of your mat, and we're gonna step that right foot back to meet our left. We'll be in a high plank, and then lift your hips up and back. Come to downward facing dog and hold here. So a nice little respite. Think of this as coming home to yourself and just remaining still. Take a deep breath in. A deep breath out. Really nice place to check in with your breath. And if this is ever too much, you're more than welcome to return to child's pose. We're going to take two more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Good. So from your child's pose, you can kind of just sliver your way forward, coming onto your belly like a snake. If you're in your downward facing dog, you'll just shift forward to plank, and with your knees or not, lower yourself down. Awesome. How are you guys doing? All right. So we're going to do some prone back bends, meaning prone on our belly. A great way to open up the chest and work some strength in our back core. So the deepest part of our core is actually behind us. And we don't want to just think of our core as our lower abdominals. We want to think of our core as everything from the shoulders to the knees, our entire trunk, okay? So from here, just bring your mouth, forehead, cheek, whatever's most comfortable to the mat. And maybe wag your tail for a moment. Good. And then from here, we're going to lift our head, neck, and shoulders and come into what we call full locust. So you see how my fingertips are separated a few inches away from my body, and I'm rising to my fingertips. It's going to just help me draw my shoulder blades onto the back. I'm going to lift a little higher and maybe see if I can float my hands up. I always like to think of like hitchhiking. I swear I've never done it before. I swear. But think of that, like your thumbs are lifting up towards the ceiling so you can further open up through your chest and your collarbones. And we're going to keep the back body grounded for now. Take one more breath, lift up a little higher, and then lower down. You can make a little pillow for your forehead to land. Wag your tail. So that was beginning of a back bend, particularly through your upper back. All right. Now we're going to just flip it. We're going to keep the lower body grounded with the arms in the same position as they were before. Tented fingers, and we're just going to lift the legs. So, mouth, forehead, chin to the mat. Arms a few inches away from your body. Come to those tented fingers, and just keep your forehead, chin, whatever's grounded down. Start to lift your legs. Doesn't have to be big. Think of more length out as you reach through your toes, then lift, okay? Really important to work your glutes here. Take one more breath. and then splash down. Awesome work, you guys. Take an inhale and exhale. Let's see if we can put it all together. Here we go. Mouth, forehead, chin to the mat. Fingers away from the midline. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders. Lift your legs. Maybe float the arms. You're in full locust. So gaze is over the tip of your nose. I know I'm kind of looking over, peeking into the camera to see you guys quite a bit here. I don't want you to be doing that in your back bends. Good. Take one more breath. And then release it. Make that little forehead pillow with your palms and wag your tail. Good. We're going to do one more back bend on our bellies. I'm just going to prop myself up to talk you through it. We're going to keep the full locus in our upper body, lifting head, neck, and shoulders and floating the arms. But we're going to bend our knees, flex our feet, and lift into a half bow with our lower body. So next week, we'll see if we can work our way towards full bow, okay? So return, let everything come nice and long. Forehead, mouth, chin, whatever works best on your neck. Inhale, lift the upper body. Exhale, bend the knees, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the inner thighs. Lift your knees a few inches if you can. And now just float the arms. Awesome. This is your half bow. Again, working an extension through the entire length of your spine. Creating some more space across the front of your chest. Building some strength in your legs, your hamstrings, your glutes. Take one more breath. And then lower. Maybe keep your knees bent and take a few windshield wipers. Feel that sweet release. Good. All right. Let's shift back towards a child's pose, giving that spine, particularly our lower back, a little bit more of a relief. Pull your hips towards your heels, reach your arms out long in front of you, and sink your hips back. Should feel pretty good here. Come back to your breath, breathe in. Breathe out. Two more like that. Inhale. Exhale. One more fullest, deepest breath yet of your day. You're welcome to open your mouth and sigh it out. Good. And then walk your hands towards your knees. Swing your legs around. And we're going to come on to our backs. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of hip work, always my favorite. We're going to come into thread the needle eventually. So I want you to start with your legs nice and long. Arms dropping down by your side. Spin your toes away from each other. And then just notice both sides of your body, the front, the side, and the back of the hips here. Now start to walk your feet a little closer towards one another. Flex through your feet and draw the right knee into your chest. And go ahead, just take a few knee circles in each direction. Just breathing some space around your right hip. Try not to get lazy through your left leg. Keep it engaged and keep on reaching out through that heel. Sort of like you're just flossing through your hip joint here. And then I want you to pull that right knee towards your right shoulder so it's not kind of in line with your chest. It's a little out to the side. And then you're going to reach that right heel up towards the ceiling. I like to bring my left hand to the back of my leg for a little support as I bring my right hand to the outside of my right foot. This is a half of a happy baby. And just same idea, you're kind of flossing through that hip flexor again. Roll around as though you're a happy little baby. Good. You might be feeling some more sensation in your hips. That's what we're looking for. All right, and then bring that knee back into center. Place your left foot to your mat. From here, you're gonna hook your right ankle over your left knee. So I'm making like an upside down triangle shape between my legs. Now I'm gonna lift off my left heel, bring the heel ideally in line with your knee, and the knee will ideally come to be placed over your hip over time. And then thread your hands, meaning bringing your right hand through that triangular shape and interlacing your fingers around the back of your left thigh. And then from here, we're just gonna work on pulling the left knee into the chest, but simultaneously guide your right knee away from your chest. If you're experiencing a lot of tightness in your hips at this point, and they're even lifted, and your sitting bone is lifted off your mat, you can grab your block and place it underneath your sitting bones, or even roll up a blanket and place it underneath there. I want you to really feel this stretch, so I want the tailbone to stay grounded the entire time. Nice. And you decide where you want to go with this. Maybe you're even gently swaying those hips side to side till you kind of find your sweet spot. We're all going to be a little different. So mine is actually bringing my left knee over to the left a little bit. I feel a little bit more of an opening through the outer right hip there. And we're just going to breathe here for one more inhale. Exhale. Good. And then start to plant your left foot down. Let's extend that right leg straight up towards the ceiling. Interlacing your fingers at the back of the thigh. Keeping that right leg as straight as you can, and press the thigh into the hands so you feel the stretch through the back of the leg, particularly through those hamstrings. If it feels appropriate in your body, you can maybe extend your left leg nice and long, not necessary. Or if you want to walk your hands a little closer towards your ankle, you're more than welcome to head there. Good. Let's take one more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Start to slow and steady. Bend your right knee back into your chest. Let's return to those very gentle knee circles a few times in each direction. And then extend that right leg long. Separate your feet mat distance once again. Spin your toes away from each other. Flip your palms open and notice what you feel. You might feel a bit more space through the right hip. A bit more openness. A bit more mobility. And then walk your feet a little closer. This time gather your left knee into your chest and let's come back to those circles. Remember to take a few in each direction. And then we're going to come find that half of a happy baby. So your left knee will come towards your left shoulder and grab the outer edge of your left foot. Maybe find some movement, rock your way side to side. You're still maintaining length through your right leg, so the quads are turned on. There's a reach out through your heel. Good. And then bring it back to center as you place your right foot to the mat. Hook your left ankle over the knee. So for some of us, our knee might be pretty close in towards the chest. It's okay. It's okay. For some of us, the knee might be a bit more out to the side of the mat. Either way, work from where you are. And then let's lift off the right heel. Bring our hands through that little triangle shape we created with our legs and interlace. I totally encourage you to find a little movement here, a little sway, until you get to that sweet spot. Work my breath so I can maintain holding the shape. What you notice on one side of your hips may not feel equal to what you noticed on the other side. So this side of my body feels a little bit more open than my right. I know, because I feel like I could hang out here much longer than I could on the right side. And that's most likely your predominant side that's going to feel a bit more open. So I'm a lefty. And here we are with a more open left hip. So no surprises there. Not, always the case, but most likely. Let's stay here for one more breath. And then start to place that right foot to the mat as we extend out through that left heel. Interlace your fingers around the back of the thigh. Feel your hamstrings as you press the thigh into the palm of your hands. And if you want, you can extend out through your right leg. And then we're just going to hang out here. Just a few more breaths. So truth be told, you guys, I'm not the biggest Bruce fan. Sorry. But I do really think the song is beautiful. I'm also noticing I'm wearing my Blackbird tights today, and I'm not a Beatles fan either. I know, super controversial. Not a fan. Think they're highly overrated. So I usually will play one class every once in a while. I don't even remember the name of it right now, but it's the one and only one song that I like from the Beatles. Time to time you'll hear them in my class, but generally not often. Fun little fact about Michelle while you're hanging out in this hamstring stretch. All right, let's start to re-bend the left knee. Interlace your fingers. Find a few more circles. I know, don't hate me. I get it. I just don't care for either band very much. All right, from here, extend your left leg long to meet your right. Separate your feet, give yourself a lot of space, and I want us to take 3 more breaths together. You can soften your gaze or close your eyes. Take an inhale. Exhale. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more full breath in through your nose. This time open your mouth, sigh it out. So from here, I encourage you, stay lying flat on your back for as long as you'd like, giving yourself a minute or maybe even 5 if you have the time. Otherwise, you're going to start to move around on your back a little bit and then find your way up to a comfortable seat. So that was it, you guys. Week 2, we survived. We did it together. Thanks for being a beginner with me. Next week we'll work on a few more standing poses, but I don't want to kind of kill you with nothing but standing work. I want to find a little bit of a balance between standing work. Maybe next week we're going to find some balancing work before we hit the mat. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.